Continuing the story of Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 3, today we are explaining Chapter 178. And let me tell you, Makoto's big trip to the Empire's capital, it doesn't just start off on the wrong foot. It starts with a single crushing thought. So right off the bat, Makoto is just hit with this wave of disappointment. You gotta understand, he was genuinely looking forward to this. He'd been picturing this, grand, almost magical snow metropolis. But what he gets? As he's standing there just looking at the city of Arenas, all he feels is this sting of betrayal. Not a real betrayal, mind you, but a betrayal of his own fantasy world expectations. So what exactly was he dreaming of? Well, picture this. A huge steampunk city, right? Steam just billowing from every corner, all set against this beautiful snowy landscape. Kind of cool, right? But what he actually gets is a city that, get this, magically repels snow. It's impressive, for sure, but it also feels sterile, almost like a fortress. There's no charm, no elegance. In fact, it's so bad that Makoto grimly thinks that the very first town he ever visited, Robin, felt more like a real snow country than this supposed imperial capital. Ouch. And from the moment he arrives at the teleportation facility, Makoto's sharp eye picks up on a crucial detail. See, the city is divided by 3 massive circular walls. And to him, this isn't just some cool design choice. No, it's a super obvious physical sign of a rigid, class-based society. The rich live here, the poor live there. Tomoe, who's never one to mince words, just calls it a city with no elegance. And Makoto, he just kind of sighs, realizing this is probably going to be his first real taste of how this world's social ladder works. But hey, Makoto isn't just here for some disappointing sightseeing. He's got a mission, a 2-parter actually. First, he's got to deliver the precious egg of the superior dragon Lancer to another dragon named Grount. That's the main reason he's here. And second, and this is maybe the more nerve-wracking part, he's got a meeting scheduled with the Empire's hero, Iwahashi Tomoki. So he's feeling this mix of curiosity and, a little bit of unease. It doesn't help that he spots a massive crater near the city, which is a pretty stark reminder of the kind of crazy power he might be about to meet. Okay, so let's head over to the castle. They get there, they go through all the formal stuff, inspections, the whole shebang. But then something weird happens. A guide leads Tomoe and Shiki away, leaving Makoto completely by himself. And he is genuinely caught off guard by this. He figured if anyone was going to get separated for being, intimidating, it'd be Tomoe, the giant imposing dragon, right? Not him, the guy who's supposed to be just a merchant. And this waiting room, it does nothing to calm him down. The story describes it as this super calm, settled place, just dripping with elegance and fancy stuff. But for Makoto, that's the whole problem. It's so far removed from anything he's used to. He sinks into this plush sofa, smells this expensive tea in the air, and he just feels like he's drowning in all this luxury. He's totally out of place and just can't relax. So after a while, the door finally opens, and in walks Princess Lily with her crew. She's all smiles, greets him warmly, thanks him for his help back in Rotsgard. She even suggests his company should open a store right there in the capital. Her words are soft, the whole vibe is gentle, but Makoto sees right through it. He looks into her eyes and notices they aren't smiling. And that's when his internal alarm bells just start blaring. So, Princess Lily then introduces the guy standing next to her, the hero, Tomoki. Makoto does his thing, offers a perfectly polite, formal greeting, honored to meet you. And Tomoki's response? He just completely shatters all protocol. No hello, no nothing, just a blunt, direct question. The difference between them is immediate and so jarring. You just know this is where things are going to get messy. And Tomoki doesn't even just ask. He lays out his whole case right then and there. He's like, your face doesn't look like a normal human's. And that name, Raito? Total fake name. Any gamer from Japan would know that. Just like that, boom, Makoto's cover is completely blown. And you can just imagine the look on his face, and Princess Lily's too. They're both just stunned. Well, the cat's out of the bag, so Makoto just owns up to it. Yep, I'm Misumi Makoto. But then he immediately tries to get things back onto familiar ground. He points out that he's 2 years older than Tomoki, and he mentions that he heard about him from Hibiki-senpai, making sure to use that respectful honorific. See what he's doing? He's testing him. He's seeing if Tomoki will play by the rules of their shared culture. And Tomoki fails that test. Big time. He refers to their shared senior as just Hibiki. No senpai, no nothing. And for Makoto, this is a huge culture shock. In Japanese culture, dropping that honorific is a massive, massive sign of disrespect. It's in that exact moment that Makoto realizes he's dealing with a type of person he has never met before. Someone who just doesn't care about the rules. From that point on, Tomoki just completely hijacks the meeting. Princess Lily tries to step in like, hey, this is just supposed to be a formal greeting. But Tomoki just brushes her off. He insists, hey, we're both Japanese, we gotta talk alone. He's completely ignoring the fact that Makoto is technically her guest, and he's got other official things to do. Doesn't matter to Tomoki. And here's how he gets away with it. He's blasting out his charm power. All the maids in the room are just dazed. Their eyes are like hearts, totally under his spell. But for Makoto, the effect is the total opposite. He says it feels nauseating, this repulsive aura. He compares it to being trapped in an elevator with someone wearing way, way too much perfume. You know that feeling? Yeah, he's completely disgusted by it. So Princess Lily eventually gives in and leaves, probably sighing the whole way. And as soon as she's gone, Makoto decides to hit this thing head on. She looks right at Tomoki and asks him straight up, hey, I'm 2 years older than you, Tomoki-kun. Don't you use formal speech with your elders? And this, right here, is where the real fight begins. It's a clash between Japanese social rules and Tomoki's me-first worldview. And this is where Tomoki's hypocrisy is just breathtaking. Okay, so check this out. First, he says that age doesn't matter. Being born earlier is irrelevant, he says. But then, in the very next breath, he pulls a 180 and argues that his social status as the hero is way higher than a mere merchant like Makoto, so actually, Makoto should be the one using formal language with him. He completely twists the logic to suit himself. It's wild. And this is the moment Makoto has his final, damning realization about this guy. He gets it now. Tomoki isn't just rude. He's the kind of person who literally bends reality and logic to fit whatever he wants. He's got double standards, triple standards, heck, quadruple standards. Makoto realizes there is just no way to have a normal, rational conversation with him. It's impossible. So just as Makoto is trying to wrap his head around this, Tomoki says he has a firm request to make, and then he says it. And Makoto's brain just stops, like blue screen of death. The story says his head went completely blank. The request was so absurd, so completely out of left field, that it literally short-circuited his brain. And what was that request? Not for some rare item, not for a business deal. Nope, he asked for one of Makoto's most powerful and loyal companions, Tomoki. The so-called hero of the empire looks Makoto dead in the eye and demands, "Give me Tomo." I mean, what? It is an absolutely insane, unbelievably arrogant demand, and that is the cliffhanger that leaves us on. What on earth could he possibly want with Tomo? We're left to wonder. All right, for anyone out there just waiting for season 3 of Tsukimichi, there is one scene, one quiet, closed-door meeting that completely changes the game for Makoto Misumi. It's his little sit-down with the hero of the empire, Iwahashi Tomoki. And today, we're gonna break down the absolute step-by-step humiliation that's about to unfold. So, picture this. The conversation kicks off with this line, right here. No hello, no how are you, just pure, unadulterated arrogance. Tomoki thinks he's the one in charge, that he holds all the cards. He's about to make Makoto an offer, something he truly believes is a great deal, but what he asks for is so insane, it leaves Makoto just completely speechless. And there it is, the big ask. Tomoki wants Tomo. His charming eyes didn't work on her, so now he's trying to trade for her like she's some kind of rare item. I mean, can you even believe the nerve? For Makoto, this is so absurd, his brain almost short-circuits. It's like a spoiled kid throwing a tantrum because he couldn't get the toy he wanted. The sheer stupidity of it all just leaves Makoto stunned into silence. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of this so-called proposition, because this is where Tomoki really shows his true colors. He thinks he's being incredibly generous, offering up what he considers his top-tier assets for the one woman he couldn't control. So what's his side of the bargain? He lays it all out. He's offering 3 of his charmed followers, his Valkyries, and he talks about them like they're cars on a lot. He boasts about their levels, all over 400, and even breaks them down by type. And if that's not enough, he offers to give Makoto a personal tour of his entire harem so he can pick out whoever he wants. He's literally treating these women like livestock. But while Tomoki is doing his whole sleazy salesman routine,
What's going through Makoto's head is the complete opposite. Tomoki isn't some follower, she's not an asset, she's family, full stop, an incredibly important part of his life. The very thought of trading her is just disgusting. You know, this entire negotiation was dead on arrival. There was never, ever a universe where this was going to happen.
Now, Tomoki, being completely oblivious, takes Makoto's stunned silence in the absolute worst way possible. He doesn't see the disgust, he doesn't see the disbelief. Nope, he sees weakness, he sees fear. And he decides, you know what? It's time to turn up the heat. This just perfectly captures the huge gap between their realities. Tomoki's looking at Makoto and thinking, ha, got him. He's nervous. He's never dealt with anything like this. His followers even try their little seduction tricks, which do absolutely nothing. But in reality, Makoto is perfectly calm. He's just trying to process the sheer weapons-grade stupidity of this whole conversation before he gives his answer. And then he speaks. It's not a big speech, it's not a shout, just two simple, clear words. I refuse. Bam. Tomoki is so thrown off, he actually asks him to say it again, not because he didn't hear him, but because his brain just can't compute the word no. So Makoto says it again. End of discussion. And this right here is where Tomoki makes his biggest, most fatal mistake. He thinks he's got Makoto all figured out. He's apparently using some tool to read power levels, and he's come to the conclusion that Makoto himself is weak. So his genius theory is that the only reason powerful beings like Tomoe follow him is because he has some kind of ultimate teaming ability. Meanwhile, Makoto's internal reaction is basically a one-word thought bubble: wrong. Just completely, utterly, laughably wrong about everything. But you know what? He doesn't correct him. He sees where this is going, and he decides to let the hero keep digging his own grave. So, thinking he has all the leverage, Tomoki plays his trump card. He gives the signal, and his Valkyries pull their blades, pressing them right up against Makoto's throat, heart, and wrists. Tomoki gets this little smirk on his face, thinking he's finally won. What he doesn't know is that those blades can't even scratch Makoto's passive magic armor. For Makoto, this isn't a threat. This is permission. Tomoki just fired the starting pistol. And that's it. The switch flips. All the disrespect, treating his family like objects, the arrogant threats, it all boils over. The calm, calculating merchant persona is gone, and something way, way more dangerous is taking its place. This negotiation is officially over. While he's pretending to think over Tomoki's terrible theory, Makoto is already moving. Not his body, but his magic. He silently reinforces the soundproofing in the room. He magically hardens the walls. He even puts a magic lock on the door. He's building a cage, and he's making sure that whatever happens next, nobody outside is going to hear a thing. Tomoki finally starts to feel that something is very, very wrong. He senses the shift in Makoto's entire presence. He realizes his mistake and tries to shout an order to his girls to attack. But oh man, is it way, way too late for that. He can't even get the sentence out. One word, that's all it takes. Sleep. Makoto just extends his magic power armor, instantly restrains the 3 Valkyries and the maid, and hits them with a direct sleeping spell. And just like that, they collapse. The pawns are off the board. Now, it's just Makoto and the hero. So what comes next? You can't even call it a fight. A fight needs 2 people. This is a lesson. A brutal, efficient, and completely one-sided beatdown, where the terrifying gap in their power is about to be made painfully clear. First move, the heavy tables sitting between them, gone. Makoto just kicks it aside like it's made of cardboard, clearing a direct path to a very shocked, very scared Tomoki. Tomoki doesn't even have time to blink. Makoto is on him, hands grabbing his head. And the source material even notes that as Makoto grabs him, he's thinking to himself, is this guy really a hero? He feels so weak. And then bam! He slams Tomoki's face straight into the floor. No hesitation, no wasted motion, just cold, calculated force. And he's not done. Before Tomoki can even process that first hit, Makoto follows it up with a powerful kick to the head that sends the hero of the Empire flying across the room until he smacks right into that magically reinforced wall. Tomoki, bless his heart, tries to fight back, and it is kind of sad, actually. He throws some explosive knives. They pop harmlessly against Makoto's armor. He shoots a spell. It's fast, but totally powerless. And every single time he tries to open his mouth, to threaten, to beg, whatever, Makoto just punches him in the face to shut him up. Total system shutdown. After who knows how many punches, Makoto stops. The physical part of the lesson is over. But now comes the real message. The part he needs Tomoki to remember for the rest of his life. He heals his external wounds, throws him back on the sofa, and gets ready to leave him with one final, unforgettable warning. With his back turned, his hand on the doorknob, Makoto delivers the ultimatum. This isn't just a threat. He is drawing a line in the sand. He's setting a new law of reality for this hero. You will not touch, you will not even desire anything that belongs to the Kuzunoha company, ever, again. And the or else? Well, that's left hanging in the air, unspoken, but absolutely terrifying. And this really gets to the core of this whole thing, doesn't it? Makoto realizes that his old way of doing things, being merciful, trying to avoid friction, is exactly what led to this moment. That beatdown wasn't just about rage. It was a conscious decision. It was a change in philosophy. So you have to ask yourself, is this the moment Makoto finally understands that to protect the things he loves, sometimes a clear, violent rejection is the only language his enemies will ever understand?